Howdy, howdy, and welcome to another wonderful trash take. Just like every other day, the UK is on fire. So, apparently there was another stabbing from a Afghan national in the UK, and it's a supposed stabbing, suspicion of murder. Basically, some dude walking his dog got brutally stabbed by some raging Afghanistan migrant for no reason. They just stabbed him, decided to kill him, and then stabbed two other little boys, one being 14 years old. They killed the walker, but they didn't kill the children, apparently. It's been, like, blowing up on social media to the point to where the UK police put out a statement asking people not to watch the video. The government in the UK doesn't want you to see the video of the Afghan national they brought into their country on taxpayer dimes who murdered a taxpayer and then tried to murder children. Yeah, I'm going to show that tweet now. This is from the Metropolitan Police UK. This is like the official police Twitter of the UK. It says, read our statement following the incident in the US bridge yesterday evening, and blah, blah, blah. Chief Superintendent Law said, I'm aware of footage circulating online that relates to yesterday's incident in UX bridge. Incident. You notice how they just say incident? It's a euphemism to talk about the abhorrent murder of a random citizen by an Afghan national. It's called downplaying. They purposely try to phrase this like it was just a random attack. This could have been never predicted whatsoever, any way, shape, or form, when the truth of the reality is if you didn't allow a bunch of random fucking people into your country unfiltered, that this shit wouldn't happen to begin with. But I'm already diverging. I would urge people to stop circulating this on social media. Now, that's an interesting thing to say. You don't want your populace seeing the results of your dog shit policies? You don't want the populace to see the videos of the random Afghan murdering some dude just walking his dog and then trying to kill two 14-year-old boys? I think it's at least one 14-year-old. I don't know how the other young individual was. But what I'm not showing here is the video footage. Someone inside their house filmed it on a phone showing this guy stabbing this dude to death. And it's brutal. The guy's on the ground, like trying to stop. And the migrant is just coming down and down with a knife repeatedly. No stopping, absolutely brutal, horrific murder. And I won't be showing that today because it's a brutal murder. This is like, it's not like the train incident where I can pause it. The entire video basically starts with him stabbing some dude critically and then continuing till he dies on the spot. It is terrifying, it is jarring, and it's just like what happened here with the crazy homeless man stabbing the Ukrainian refugee and with Charlie Kirk being assassinated. It's igniting the people in the UK under the same banner of this mass migration shit needs to end, and the government's freaking out. So, in order to avoid speculation and further misinformation, we can confirm the suspect lived in a private residential address. So they're trying to say he wasn't living in a migrant hotel. Basically is what they're trying to say. It's not a migrant hotel. But the kicker is, the government still pays for these migrants to get housing for basically free on taxpayer dimes. They pay for not only hotels, but also heavily subsidize them to be able to get houses too. So, doesn't mean anything. Our priority is securing justice for the man who sadly died and others who were injured during this incident. Sharing this footage would impede future court proceedings and cause further distress to those directly impacted by these events as well as their loved ones. Yeah, guys, you should definitely not spread the video footage around of this man brutally stabbing someone. This could hurt the court. And what he's trying to say is this could cause jury tampering, is what they're trying to imply. But that's a very select minority of people that are going to be on the jury. What they're trying to do here is downplay a brutal murder by an Afghan national. And everyone's calling them out on their bullshit on Twitter. Please be considerate to what you are sharing online and keep up to date with our news and our website and any accurate updates of this incident. Because it's the UK. If you tweet that, I don't think the migrants should be allowed in the country, they'll probably arrest you for racism because you don't have freedom of online speech in the UK. You don't. Unless you're in America, it's the only place where you have true freedom. They don't want people to get arrested is what it's trying to boil down to because they know people are going to be posting shit saying, maybe we shouldn't have migrants murdering people, and they're going to have to arrest them for bigotry because they're retarded. You can upload evidence by scanning the QR code, which is below, and thank you. So they're trying to get people to upload the video. I'm not going to show the full QR code. You should never, in today's modern society, scan a QR code from anything online. That is how you get scammed, which in fact, there was a NVIDIA conference with the CEO of NVIDIA earlier on YouTube today, and a fake NVIDIA live stream that went live at the exact same time had 5 times the number of viewers as the actual live stream with a fake QR code to try to steal your crypto. Sorry, my windows popped up. With a fake QR code to try to steal your crypto. Never scan a QR code online. Random tangent there. But people are actively calling them out and saying more information because they're just saying it's an incident, not giving a lot of information. A 40-year-old was killed, 45-year-old man and a 14-year-old were stabbed by a 22-year-old Afghan national who's in custody. A private residential address. Do you think a 22-year-old owns a home in the UK? Let's use some logic here. No, he doesn't. He was brutally murdered, it's what everyone's saying, and it's entirely true. Afghan man held after dog walker dies in stabbing. That's kind of, I mean, it's a little bit better than some of their titles, trying to lie by omitting key facts of the case, saying random person dies from miscellaneous knife stabbing. It hits the key points. Afghan man, which is a national Afghan, not a, I guess he's a citizen of the UK. Like, over there, they have legal immigration where their immigration system brings in anybody. Over here, we have illegal immigration where our immigration system tries to remove people. And our news gets it really twisted by trying to purposely omit facts of the case when it's an illegal alien that kills someone, which happens very commonly over here. We have almost like one illegal killing someone a day in America. Over there, it's one legal immigrant killing someone a day. Bit of a difference between our news. But yeah, brutally dies is what they should say. An Afghan national has been arrested on suspicion of murder. They have video footage of it. They have video evidence of it. Not really suspicion. They have video evidence, but it's more than likely a legal necessity. I'm giving them a good faith argument here. Our news does this too. Even if there's video evidence, they can't legally say you murdered someone or could be considered slander. If the court case for some reason gets thrown out, they can turn around and sue the news org for saying, I didn't murder that person. This was thrown out in the court of law. So I give news sources a pass on using verbiage like that. It's more of a protection of the legal system so they don't get fucked in the ass. But anyways, after a dog walker was killed in a triple stabbing in West London, the victim, named locally Wayne Broadest, was 49, was stabbed in Midhurst Gardens, Uxbridge. How the fuck do you say that? 17 GMT on Monday and died at the scene. Yeah, it's brutal. There is video footage of this man like trying to fight for his life. It is jarring to see. The dude walks up behind him and starts with a stab that was probably critical, that he wouldn't survive with, because that's the real truth about stabbings. The UK sold all the rights to defend yourself, so now you're basically going to die every time you get stabbed, because you don't immediately stab from a knife wound unless it hits like your heart or your neck or like a carotid artery. You bleed out in the ambulance. You bleed out on the way to the hospital. Most stabbings will result in your death as long as they hit somewhere vital. That's the scary part about stabbing. Just because you survived the original attack does not mean you will survive the next 30 minutes. A second man, 45, was taken to the hospital with life-changing injuries, and a 14-year-old boy was also injured, police said. The 22-year-old arrested man was tasered and is being held on suspicion of a murder and attempted murder. Yeah, so the crazy fucker was then also trying to probably attack the police. The Home Office confirmed the suspect entered the UK in a lorry in November 2020, was granted asylum and leave to remain in 2022 and does not live in Home Office accommodation. So where was he living? Was he just living with another migrant? Was granted asylum and leave to remain in 2022. So this dude came here when this dude came to the UK when he was 17. 17-year-old did this. Was granted asylum when he was 19 and repays the United Kingdom citizens by brutally murdering one and trying to kill two more, including a 14-year-old boy. Sounds like the UK is getting some banger immigrants in their country. He was taken to the hospital as a precaution, but was later taken into the police custody. Yeah, he should be put down like a rabid fucking animal. This attack is not treated as terrorism. It should be, and detectives are working to establish any relationship between the suspect and the three victims. It was a random stabbing. He just like walked up and started stabbing the first few people he saw from the video footage I saw. On Tuesday evening, about 100 people held a minute of silence by the cordon surrounding the scene. They applauded at the end, and the group started to disperse shortly after. A large group of men, women, and children laid flowers at the junction. That's really nice, but you know what would stop this from happening? If the UK actually started making sure the people that they're bringing into their country to assimilate are actually fucking assimilating. Footage posted online appeared to show the suspect walking alongside a residential street before two police officers sprinted at him. One pointed a taser at him and one said, "Drop the knife and get on the floor." Several others joined them before the taser was fired and the man fell to the ground. This was shocking. Its senseless act of violence left one man dead and two others injured and left a child injured as well. Our thoughts are with the victim's family and the friends at this unimaginably difficult time. My thoughts are with the politicians that allowed this person to get into the country. My thoughts are with the politicians that will now be doing everything in their power to say this was senseless and not ever actually stop the mass flow of migration that's destroying their country. And I say this in the nicest way humanly possible. You need to get these people out of office in any way, shape, or form legally. I'm not saying kill politicians, but they need to be removed. This problem will not fix itself till the UK removes these retards that enabled this system in the first place. Immigration has completely failed. You are having people die on the daily. You had a terrorist attack like 2 weeks ago by some dude trying to kill as many Jews as humanly possible. You had a terrorist attack 2 days ago from this dude trying to kill as many people as humanly possible. You had a terrorist attack in Ireland where a migrant who was living on taxpayer dime that should have been deported did unspeakable things to a child. Like, this is a pattern of the immigrants they're allowing into their country. They aren't tested or they aren't checked to make sure they're going to be a good fit to society. They are not immigrating. They are immigrating, but they're not assimilating, and the people are suffering. You're paying for this dude to come here, you're paying for this dude to live here, and then you're paying to put him in jail for the rest of his life when he brutally murders a civilian. This is crazy. The incident will have understandably caused concern to the local community. Yeah, it fucking will. I've deployed multiple police officers to the local area, probably to stop riots, and they will be held there throughout the week, provide reassurance. Oh yeah, that's nice. What happens when the police are gone and another stabbing takes place? We'll just put more police out there retroactively, except to fixing the problem, which is proactively making sure the immigrants you've allowed in this country aren't radical fucking terrorists. The family of the deceased man has been told they are supported by specifically... The family of the deceased man has been told they are being supported by specifically trained officers. The fuck does that mean? On Tuesday, a neighbor in Blois said the man died was a bin man and described him as the last person on earth that you would think somebody would go for. So he was a good person who was a trash man. I think that's a bin man. The UK, I don't understand their English. Fake dialect. But yeah, you can tell that it's going to be a banger tweet when they immediately disable all replies. So everyone's quote tweeting this. Let's see what the beautiful people say about this tweet. Watch and shared. You are all embarrassingly pathetic. I would urge people to stop circulating this on social media. Lol, you should watch it, share to make others see what you're forced to endure as a nation. Hiding it like the police will not only continue to create the problem more, but will also vehemently argue that the problem doesn't exist and will demoralize you for saying it does. That's true. That's what happens in America. They gaslight you saying it doesn't happen. And then when you show it happens, they say, oh, it's a minor thing. And then it goes to the next level of, oh, it's a good thing and you're a bigot for calling it out. That's what happens in America. This is a form of them trying to control the narrative. The narrative is, and is not, the narrative is an Afghan, the narrative is a man who came to the country on taxpayer dime, failed to assimilate, and murdered a citizen. That's the narrative. They want to completely shift away from that in any way, shape, or form humanly possible, and that's everything they're trying to do now. Let's make sure not to spread the video of a Afghan asylum seeker stabbing a local death in broad daylight. True. Because this is basically him talking with the dude, him trying to walk away, trying to disengage, and the migrant's not having any of that. I'm not playing any more of that video. This dude is trying to get away. And this is the real issue that people don't understand, is you need to make sure you are like 2 arms length away from someone you are not unsure of and their intentions in today's society. This doesn't just work in the United States. This also needs to work in the UK. If you see someone that's a danger, get away from them. Be paying attention to your surroundings. These are people that have been allowed into your country by the government that are fucking insane and will murder you at a moment's notice. You need to be aware of your surroundings. When will you disable the ability for governments to turn off replies? You are indirectly allowing them to shift the blame to misinformation posts entirely true and not take accountability at Elon Musk, which is what I believe too. If you are a affiliated account with this checkmark, meaning you are some sort of government official account, you should not be able to disable comments at all on any posts. The will of the people needs to be heard at all times. The UK police is doing everything in their power to tell people to stop spreading this because of misinformation. Opposed to the reality of the situation that their dogshit politicians are now probably afraid of public backlash, and rightfully so, because they allowed another citizen to be murdered. Yeah, someone's pointing out this sadly died during an incident. Yeah, it's a crazy way to try to frame it with their language. They do everything in their power to use their words to lie to you about the facts of the case. This is why everyone needs to have better access to the internet and access to real information, not fake information. This is why I like Grokpedia. This is me after the fact while I was video editing, kind of realized there could be a different underlying cause. So he's an Afghan national, meaning he's from Afghanistan. The Muslim population of Afghanistan is basically 100%. Very, very strict Muslims. Muslims don't like dogs. I didn't see anyone commenting about this, but this could have been, and I want to say, take it with a grain of salt, religiously motivated. He could have lost his shit because the dude had a dog. I don't know. I'm sure the police will eventually come to a conclusion, and if it is, he did this attack because the dude had a dog and it made him go crazy, we're never going to hear it. But I just want to point it out. He comes from a place that is very Islamic and is now killing someone who had a dog. This mainly boils down to the fact that a lot of Muslims are taught that dogs are unclean and dirty, kind of like how Muslims don't eat bacon. They think pigs are unclean and dirty. Same thing with dogs. That's just me making a guess of what could have happened here because the dude was walking his dog, and I remember seeing something about there's a bunch of flyers going up in these really Muslim parts of don't bring your dogs out, it's offensive to our religion, and I had that as an afterthought. I don't know, but I just wanted to include that because I was thinking, damn, if this is a racially motivated attack or religiously motivated attack, the UK police sure as hell ain't gonna tell anybody. So yeah, just want to throw that in there. My issue with this is we had something similar, like I previously said, with the homeless crazed man that was allowed out by dogshit judges in America who then went to stab the Ukrainian refugee on the subway. We had something very similar, and our news and our media was telling people, don't look at this footage. The mainstream news started making fun of people like 3 days after the incident, saying a bunch of right-wingers are posting this online. When the reality of the case is, it's showing a fact that has been happening in America where dogshit judges are letting people back on the street that should never be allowed on the street. They need to be in prison for the rest of their life. That is an issue in America, but the news is framing it. It looks like the same way as they're trying to do with this in the UK, where they're acting like it didn't happen, and they're telling people and trying to downplay and telling them not to repost the video and downplay what actually happened in the situation by using nicer sounder words to dilute from the facts of a case that a crazed migrant that came there to the UK on taxpayer dime brutally murdered a UK taxpayer and tried to kill 2 more, including a 14-year-old boy. Absolutely wild that the Metropolitan Police aren't actually telling the facts of the case in a situation that was recorded and put online for everyone to see. And you wouldn't know this, and you wouldn't know the truth if this wasn't video recorded. And that's the issue with what's happening in modern society. The news has a stranglehold on the actual information, and stories like this go under the radar all the time. It's just another stabbing with 3. It's just another car incident. Hell, we had a funny-ass video in America. I say funny-ass video pretty bad. There's a video of a lady in New York, and I'll show that now just for context. That's a police officer. Careful, be careful. She's driving the wrong way down a road and rams a cop, and a judge gave her 2 years in prison. And the only way you know about this is because a taxi saw the footage and recorded it, and it got posted online thanks to the Freedom of Information Act. Yeah. The news doesn't want Americans to see this because this shit's crazy. A woman tried to murder a police officer and got 2 years in prison for it. But now more than ever, the news all across the world is the enemy of the people. They are purposely trying to allow violence because it doesn't fit whatever dogshit narratives or dogshit elites they're trying to protect or dogshit politicians that they're trying to protect. The facts of the case do not matter. They don't want you upset about this, and they know it's alarming to see. They're afraid of the people actually going out to vote against them or get them removed from power to fix this problem because they've created the problem and they know that this is only going to hurt them in the long run. The most of the politicians that vote for policies like this will never have to face the consequences of their actions, of the policies themselves affecting them. This was probably 100% preventable. I'm sure we're going to learn much more about this man, and there were thousands of signs that he was mentally unwell because every single time it happens in America, that's almost always the case. And I'm only assuming that's the case in the UK because this is a repeat problem where migrants aren't assimilating and then causing issues in the UK. And this is just following on the foot of a few days ago of the story breaking that the UK police accidentally let someone go instead of deporting them, which that dude now sat down with an interview with the news talking about how he tried to go talk to the police and they told him to get out of here. Even the dude who was getting deported for doing horrendous actions against a child was confused why the police wouldn't deport him. The UK cops are a joke, and they're doing everything in their power to make sure that people don't know it, to make sure that you don't know their police are incompetent and won't protect you. When you gave up your weapons, you basically signed a social contract that the government would be there to help you. It doesn't look to me like that's working. And that's why I will never get my weapons as an American. That's for damn sure. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you like this video, feel free to like it, comment, or subscribe. I keep seeing more and more video footage of immigrants that are that were legally allowed into countries in the UK and the great assimilation that they're doing. And then I laugh about the illegal aliens here that are brutally murdering people. And then I have Democrats saying that they're all good people, that Trump's a fascist dictator for trying to deport the murderers here. That's not true. The media does everything in their power to lie, and I'm just tired of it. That's why I'm making these videos. And me seeing this in the UK, my heart goes out to the people of the UK because y'all have an uphill battle to fix this problem, and I know it's going to require great effort and great voter turnout to do this the civil way, and I hope it ends civilly without a civil war breaking out there. Because it seems every day the UK inches closer to civil war. I know I'm just an American retard reporting on the United Kingdom and their retards, but my God, this is abhorrent, and I really hope that this problem gets fixed eventually. And the only way it will get fixed is if these people get voted out of office that allowed this situation to occur in the first place. Their reactive response is to put police in the area for a week, and then they'll completely forget about it ever happening. The people need to take a more proactive response and do a better vetting process on the immigrants there and ensuring any immigrants coming to the country are vetted in a much more suitable way and not just giving out immigration to anyone that shows up on their shores. But yeah, Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video. But until then, later.